Hey everybody, welcome to another Midnight Review presented by Glasshouse Films. Carson here. Fortunately no co-pilot this time. And I know I call these Midnight Reviews, and that's originally because I reviewed films at midnight on Thursday when they would come out. And, well, it's pretty cool that most of the time we get these things at 7 o'clock. That way I don't have to be up to the crack of dawn, you know, watching movies and putting them together and everything. But this is a little ridiculous. Ocean's 8, movie I'm going to watch and review now, it's coming out on 4 p.m. on a Thursday. That's not a Friday release. That's just, you're just releasing on Thursday at that point. You're just cheating. But I ain't complaining too much because that allows me to not only see and watch and review this movie, but I can also watch and review something else to come. So, Ocean's 8, what can I really say about it? I mean, it's a heist film, so woo, I'm big on heist films, and it is about Danny's sister, Danny Ocean, played by, George Clooney in the Ocean's 11, 12, and 13 movies by Soderbergh. Cool. I have two, well, one kind of issue and one, like, I guess. So the issue that I have is I don't really buy Sandra Bullock as, like, this smooth con artist. Not in the same way that I buy George Clooney as a smooth operator. However, that's just from watching, you know, a 2.5 minute trailer. I could go in and watch this movie and just be like, shit, I was wrong. I want to be like, shit, I was wrong. But, I mean, it's weird because it's like, she's a major player, but it is an ensemble cast, and for the most part, I like the ensemble cast that we have. I mean, Cate Blanchett, yes. Sarah Paulson, yes. Rihanna, I'm like, all right, I could buy this. Helena Bonham Carter, great, you're doing something that's not a Tim Burton film. I'm buying into it already. So I'm really looking forward to the cast at large being used. Now, the thing that I'm kind of like about is Steven Soderbergh is just, he's a notch above. He is really one of America's greatest directors at the moment. But his sensibilities and the way that he can tell a story is really unique. It's the fact that he uses the language of cinema very bluntly is kind of artistic in the way that it's used. Gary Ross, I don't see myself being as pulled into the film with Gary Ross. It's like, okay, it's a Soderbergh heist film, which, you know, Ocean's 11, 12, 13, for however you felt about them, and Logan Lucky versus this guy, and I'm just like, it's just a normal heist film, I guess. But even with all that being said, I'm still looking forward to it. You know, I don't hope it's a bad film. I never hope these are bad films, so hope it's good. So I'm going to go in and check it out.
In 3.5 weeks, the Met will be hosting its annual ball, and we are going to rob it. Oh, look at you. $16.5 million in each of your bank accounts 5 weeks from now. That's a lot.
And I'm back. And I gotta say, I'm pleasantly surprised to say that I was mostly wrong on this film. Sandra Bullock, Sandy B, she did quite a good job. I was afraid that they were going to try and make her like more slick than Danny Ocean, or that she was going to try and be the same. Not more slick than he is, but more that they were trying to carbon copy Danny Ocean and then turn it up by 10%. And just be like, yeah, she's like her brother, but better. It's like, no, she's different. She pulls different sorts of cons. And I think that is incredibly well illustrated near the beginning of the film when she gets out of jail. And we see her pull some very smooth operations. And because of how smooth that is, from just con to con to con to con, I feel that we really get a sense of like, oh, okay, yeah, no, she can do this shit. She's pretty good in her own right. I gotta say the ensemble cast itself was really good. I really liked all of the players. I was a little bit hesitant on Rihanna, mostly because I've seen her act before, but in this one, I feel that they were much more relaxed with what they wanted her to do. They are not much more relaxed. Not they are much more relaxed with what they want her to do. She is much more relaxed in this film. And because of that, I think she delivers a great performance for what she's being asked to do. All of the other ladies, hot damn, they all did incredible jobs. I wanted more Sarah Paulson all the time. I wanted so much more Cate Blanchett all the time. I feel like Anne Hathaway, we've never really seen Anne Hathaway play a character like this, because most of the time she's kind of the goody two-shoes, or, I mean, even with the Dark Knight Rises, you know, she's Catwoman, but with a heart of gold. And I very much feel that in this film, it's like, oh, sweet, we really get to see her just mean. You know, not even evil, just mean, like catty and bitchy, but it's never grating with the way that she plays it and the way that it's presented. So the movie, as is about Debbie Ocean, Daniel Ocean's sister. She has recently been released on parole, very similar to Danny Ocean in the beginning of Ocean's 11, and she has a score, and much like Ocean's 11, there is more to the score than initially meets the eye. Where this film stumbles with its storytelling, I feel that they explain more than what we need, or they show more than what we actually need to be shown. For instance, and that weirdly enough comes more down to editing than it does anything else, because if you go back and you read the script for Ocean's 11, it's different. For instance, a really great scene in Ocean's 11 is where Danny meets back up with Rusty. George Clooney meets back up with Brad Pitt. And in the movie, the way it's played is Rusty needs this lifeline. He is so sick and tired of his gig. He's done with it. And Danny is kind of this life preserver that he's throwing out to Rusty so he can keep in the game of doing this stuff. Whereas on the page, that comes across in a very different way, almost more an antagonistic relationship. But that's all through delivery, and that's all from, you know, editing and directing it. So I feel that I don't know, you could have come down a little bit harder with some of the editing in this film, or just been like, we don't need that. We don't need that particular scene. We don't need this to be shown this way. I'm sorry, the white balance is totally off. The sun's coming down. A lot of shade on my face. That's only making it worse. Anyway, but that's okay. That's more the first third of the film that I have those problems. Towards the end, I was really digging it. It's a very good heist film. My only other major gripe, there are two minor gripes that turn into a major thing if you put them together, I guess. So part of it is there are some weird camera choices with like a strange kind of zoom in and zoom out when we're being introduced in certain scenes or we're talking to certain characters. And it's very weird and it's disjointed, and I feel that it's trying to ape Soderbergh's style without understanding how that actually works. There are some shots that are very much Soderbergh shots, but are amazing. So when the movie isn't trying to ape that, I think it's at its best. Same with the music. There's a lot of music in this that is very similar to Ocean's 11, 12, and 13. I'm like, but when it isn't being that, it's really good music, and I really like how different it is. And I have to say, one of the film's biggest strengths is showing a very different sort of con. And in that regard, we're introduced to a world that not necessarily a world we've never seen, but it's viewing it through a different lens. So there's actually a lot to do about fashion in this movie. And instead of being like, oh, we have to get through the fashion stuff, it's like, no, I'm engaged. I like this. Let's go back to Vogue. Let me see that stuff. And it's really well executed. And I feel that the film manages to actually work really well. It's a very fun heist film. It's not stratosphere. It's not, best of the best, but it's damn good. I mean, I put it above the remake of The Italian Job. But just a little bit below Ocean's 11. It's really, really good. And I highly recommend y'all see it. So, that's going to do it for me for now. Next week, I've completely forgotten what I'm saying next week. So, until then, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below, tell me, what are some of your favorite heist films? I always like to know, what kind of heist films people really dig, because it's one of my favorite genres. Don't forget, I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/glasshousefilms, and Twitter @glasshousefilms. Thank y'all so much, and I'll see you next week.